This is Geometry Lesson 10.5, Density and Displacement. So the first thing we're going to talk about is displacement. And so we have formulas for all of these different solids that are pretty regular, like rectangular, cylindrical, triangular. But if you had a rock or any other odd-shaped object and wanted to find its volume, we have a method called displacement. So basically, if you place that object into water, however much the water is displaced, that's the volume of the object. So we have this little graphic here showing water in a little tank. When you add the rock to it, the water increased this much, so the volume of that slice of water is equal to the volume of the rock. So we can use the exact same formulas. Since this rock is being placed into a rectangular prism, we would use the rectangular prism formula, which is base times height times height. But we're not going to talk about the height of this whole shape, just the height of this slice of water. So we would use the number 2 in that place. So the volume of this rock would be 10 by 15 by 2, 300 cubic centimeters. The second thing we're going to talk about is density, and we're going to use the same idea. We're going to put a clump of metal into a cylindrical container, causing the water to be displaced. So we're going to use the same displacement method to get the volume. Once we have the volume, if we do the mass, which we have right here, the mass divided by the volume, it'll tell us the density of the object, and we can use a density table to figure out what the metal is. So we'll start with the volume. It's a cylinder, so that's pi times the radius squared times the height. So I know pi. Reading the question, it tells me that I have a radius of 3 centimeters. And the water is displaced 1.1 centimeters. So pi times the radius squared times the height tells me that the volume of the clump of metal is 31.1 cubic centimeters. Now to get the density, I need the mass divided by the volume. The mass is 351.4 grams. And I want to divide that by the volume, which is 31.1 cubic centimeters. And on my calculator, I have 11.299, so I'll round that to 11.3. So if I find 11.3 on my table, right here, 11.30, that tells me that my metal is lead. Okay, so the first 3 problems are doing just volume by displacement, and then on the back you'll have some problems where you have to use the density table right here to answer some questions. Okay, good luck with the exercises, and please let me know if you have any questions.